Hello, I'm here to talk about Gertrude Baniszewski. Sorry, I'm butchering that last name. Um, she was a murderer, but not a very well known one. She was born in 1929. She had 5 siblings. At 10 years old, she witnessed her father die of a heart attack. Other than that, she had a relatively normal life up until 16. She dropped out of school to marry a man 2 years her senior. They had 6 children together, but that didn't really stop him from beating her. She eventually left John to marry Dennis. They had a kid together, but he ended up abusing her too. Having 2 abusive relationships in her life, she developed depression and a wicked temper. Being poor, they often had to skip meals. The whole family looked starved and weak. In order to make a little bit of extra money on the side, she took in neighborhood children while their parents were away. In 1965, she eventually took in 2 children, Sylvia and Jenny Likens, so their parents, Betty and Lester, could go work in the traveling circus during the summer. The Likens paid $20 a week. Sylvia was 16 and healthy. Jenny was 15 and was left disabled after she struggled with polio. Gertrude was unsettled by her medical issues, but $20 a week was great incentive back then. On the outside, Gertrude seemed like a normal woman. The Likens thought that their girls were in good hands. That couldn't be farther from the truth. 9 children in a small house made it felt really crammed. It only took a week before her rage started to show, and she started starving the girls on purpose, only feeding them small amounts of bread and soup. After the first week, she took the girls upstairs into an empty room and beat them senseless. She would yell at the girls for being useless and a burden on the household, even though she was getting paid. When the payments were late, she would beat them harder. After a while, beating them with her hands wasn't enough, so she started using a wooden spoon. Sylvia got most of the beatings, and Jenny was unable to do anything. Gertrude decided that she wanted to have the neighborhood children involved. She told them that Sylvia was stealing from her. She wanted to make extra money, so she charged 5 cents per child to beat Sylvia. The kids would use her like a punching bag to practice judo. Gertrude would laugh during the beatings. The children would then beat her harder. One of the children, Paula, beat Sylvia so hard she broke her hand. Paula would then beat her more with the new cast. When the family found out that Sylvia was dating, Gertrude kicked her repeatedly in between the legs, yelling that she was a whore and a prostitute. Gertrude had the brilliant idea of branding her with a heated sewing needle on Sylvia's abdomen. It said, "I am a prostitute, and I am proud of it." In addition to the punishment, she was forced to get naked in the living room and masturbate with a glass Coke bottle for the family's entertainment multiple times. Sylvia was force-fed mustard, which made her throw up. She was then forced to eat her own vomit. She was also forced to eat the contents of a baby diaper. After the feeding, the children would put their cigarettes out on her skin, branding her even more. Jenny was forced to take part or suffer the same fate. Sylvia got beaten so severely she became incontinent. Because of this, she was withdrawn from school and locked in the basement. Once the family poured scalding hot water on her and then rubbed salt in the burn wounds. A nurse visited to assess the kid's health, but was told that Sylvia had run away. Later, Sylvia was made to write a letter explaining why she ran away should Gertrude could show the letter to her parents and the police officers. Sylvia tried to get away twice but failed in both attempts. As punishment, Gertrude stood on her head till her brain started to bleed and she died. She told one of her children to call the police, and when they arrived, she showed him the letter. explaining that she had ran away with boys who beat her and left her in the basement to die. Almost everyone said the same story. Everyone but Jenny. She whispered into the policeman's ear, "Get me out of here, and I will tell you the whole story." Jenny was taken by the police and told the whole story. The family was put on trial, and each got harsh sentences. The only thing that Gertrude had to say was that, "I had to teach that girl a lesson." The judge stated this case was the most terrible crime ever committed in Indiana. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later.